All right, today I brought a book with me called 10X is Easier Than 2X. How many of you have heard the 10X because of Grant Cardone? Who knows who Grant Cardone is? Anybody? A couple of us? Okay. So the whole idea of 10X has really been made popular by Grant Cardone, but this book here, 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, actually explores a couple of things that I want to talk to you about today. Because there is the theory that 10xing your business is easier than 2xing it. And it's because you have to make some really big jumps to things you would have to do in order to scale at that rate and size. That 2x just actually is a trudge. It's just a lot harder. And instead of going into all the details, I just picked a couple of select things that I really just cherry picked to share with you. And then I wanted to advocate that you get a copy for yourself. And then you figure out how you can apply some of these things to your own life and your own business and your own company based on whether you're a solopreneur and you need help temporarily or partially, or maybe you have a large team and you need a couple of just dynamic tweaks by doing some of the right things with more intensity that actually can create a 10x outcome versus just a 2x trudge and a slogging through it. So first thing I picked here was going 10x means your attention is directly on far less, but it's insanely more potent and impactful because it's focused rather than spread thin. Dramatically expanding your vision and standards, simplifying your strategy and focus, identifying and removing non-essentials, developing mastery in unique areas, leading and empowering others who excitedly share your vision. Yesterday, I had to shoot a one-year anniversary party at a local chiropractor office. And Dr. Joe Snyder is one of my favorite people that I've met here through BNI throughout the years. Joe's outstanding. He's loving. He's caring. He is a very, very good chiropractor. He's very technically proficient. He totally forgot to bring tables and chairs to his party. So I got a text on Monday night. Hey, Andy, do you have like a folding table and like chairs you can bring? We have probably 50 to 60 people showing up today. I'm like, yeah, I got like 2 tables and 8 chairs. I'll bring what I have. On my way there, I go, Joe, do you have tablecloths? No, I don't. So I ran to Target and bought tablecloths and brought them to set up yesterday. Why am I telling you this? Because I really need Joe to be an outstanding chiropractor for myself and my wife who had a broken back before, and for all the girls and the kids that I take to him. I need him to be good at that. I don't need him to remember tables and chairs, ultimately. You know what I'm saying? I really want him, I really want you really want me to be so proficient at the thing that I'm representing here and the thing that I do outside these walls to people so that when you pass that referral, you know it's going to be done at, I'm going to say, the Dr. Joe level today, where maybe I forgot to tie my shoes, but what we make for you is going to look great. Your taxes are going to be accurate. Don does an installation of a new fan. It's not going to fall off your ceiling. Things like that. We want each other to be really good at the things we say we're really good at. So the question is, what conditions need to be true for $10 million in profit in the next 12 months? Some of you are like, that's crazy. What the heck would I have to do? But when's the last time you asked yourself that question? Have you ever asked yourself that question? I mean, I was forced by reading this to ask myself that question. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a lot I need to change. But going through the exercise allowed me to kind of unshackle some of the things that I think are time wasters in my business and just go, well, how do I fix this one little problem? And then jump to a space that says, what would it have to look like here for that outcome over here to be possible? So impossible goals help you identify the one or few conditions that have the highest possible upside. So if you are the best salesperson in your organization, stop doing email, to Miguel's point. Email will waste your time. Email will not help you get to that point. Even if you did $1 million in profit, maybe that's better than where you're at right now. I'm willing to bet for most of us that is better than where we are right now. Truthfully, okay? Me included. So by jumping to this exercise, it forces us to take a look and survey what in our operations needs fixing. What can be streamlined? What can be made more efficient? What can be done less expensively probably, or with better outcomes and optimization? The goal determines the process. 10x forces you to stop almost everything you're doing, which is ultimately a waste of time anyway, which is why Mark's Open Networking today was, what's the time wasters in your business? We spend time doing them, but we probably don't consider them a waste of time to the point that we hate them enough to change it. And that's the unfortunate truth I found myself dealing with. I hate certain things in my company and in my business that I was still willing to do it though, but not to the point where it was so painful that I had to change it. Until I had to change it. And I recently had to change it. I recently had to change it because you guys know a lot of my life circumstances. We had extra kids in our house. My wife is ill right now. I was forced to change things because other things in my life require this business and this company to be optimized better than it was. And going through 10X helped me do some of those things in December and January so that I can still show up on Wednesday and be here, number one. I can still do the one-to-ones I'm scheduled to do. I can still do education moment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it was by force that all those things happened. So in the 10X idea here with this, it is actually about less and doing those less things with greater intensity and more frequency because it simplifies things, whereas just trying to double actually allows things to still maintain some complexity because you can get to 2X and still have the problems you have. You don't have to fix a lot of things to get to 2X. You'd have to fix the right things to get to 10X. And that's the big difference here. So identify the 20% of the things in your life that are producing the most of your results, and those are the things that get the focus. And I really want to encourage everybody to check this out. I'm going to leave it here. If you want to check it out after the meeting for a minute, you can comb through it. I got my personal notes in there, highlights, things like that. I'm sure it's available on Audible as well, or some sort of audio version. Yes, Miguel.
It's available in our BNI library.
It's available in the BNI library. This book was given to me by Ed, the owner of BNI. And he gave this to a bunch of other people that are around town who are doing something externally for BNI. And because we run the podcast and we run their show, he was asking if we would all read this too. So I was reading this as part of what I need to do for myself in business and at the request of Ed. And this is a BNI book. So real quickly, it's not the effort that matters, but whether that effort is directed. Think exponentially, which means thinking both bigger and non-linearly, hyper-focus on quality over quantity, and get really good at what you do. Building a team to handle everything else so you can focus on achieving quality in your craft and master your level of focus and standards. Mastering your level of focus and standards. And we're already running over, so I'm going to end there. But if you have any questions about 10X is better than or easier than 2X, please see me. And if you need the link to the book because you can't find it yourself, just let me know and I'll happily send you a link. All right, thanks. Back to you, Mark.